Hi. Thank you all for making the effort to watch this recording. I'm very sorry we're not all together this evening and that I'm not speaking to you in person. Thanks for being patient as we adjust to our current COVID conditions, and thank you for being creative and finding ways to fellowship with each other. I hope each of you have been able to connect with other people tonight. We have a full year of women's events planned for 2020-21. By the way, we refers to the Women's Ministry Planning Team, which currently includes me and Dorsey Jones, Elizabeth Rades, Colleen Martin, and Ruth Tangeman. You may or may not be aware that during the past year, Ruth joined our team. As you would imagine, Ruth adds great ideas and insight and creativity to our team. We're extremely grateful that she has joined us. Our team is very hopeful that we'll be able to make our planned events happen even with COVID still around. It's likely that we'll need to be creative and make some adjustments to our usual formats. Our intention is to be able to offer each one of our usual events for the purposes of fellowship with one another and building ourselves up in the knowledge, understanding, and application of God's Word. So here's our planned schedule of events. First, a prayer meeting to pray for our children and young people. We'll meet on 4 consecutive Tuesday nights this fall, September 29th, October 6th, October 13th, and October 20th. To guide us in praying, we'll use the book, 5 Things to Pray for Your Kids, Prayers That Change Things for the Next Generation by Melissa Kruger. Moms and everyone else interested in praying for the next generation are invited to join in these prayer meetings led by Colleen Martin. Buy your book now and watch for coming details on these meetings. Second, we have a Christmas social planned for Saturday, December 5th. We're planning now to provide a reasonably safe way to fellowship with the women of our church. The emphasis will be just to enjoy being together. Next, we have small group Bible studies being offered between January and June at various times and in various locations. The study this year will be on the book of Philippians. Watch for details on signing up for these studies later this fall. And finally, a women's retreat. We reserved Camp Caraway in Ashboro for April 16th and 17th, a Friday and Saturday. Please mark your calendars now and plan to attend this 2-day time away with the women of our church. Our focus will be on the fruit of the Spirit, and our main speakers will be Kate Sasser and Donna Burnett, who are already working hard on providing us with excellent teaching on this subject. We'll also hear shorter testimonies from several other women in our church, and we'll enjoy time together. I hope you will all be able to attend. Participate in as many of these events as you're able to this year. Also, be creative and determined in pursuing one another personally. There are many ways we can maintain fellowship and relationship in this unique year that God has brought us. They just take a little more personal ownership, creativity, thoughtfulness, and initiative. I don't doubt that God's good purposes for us are intertwined with what on the surface seems like merely a long trial. God is always at work, challenging us, but also growing us into more mature and godly people. So, head into this fall with that knowledge and conviction. God is at work. Seek to be filled with His Spirit daily, and let Him direct you and empower you to reach out personally to others. Reach out to those beyond your normal circle of friends. This fall would be a great time to consider talking with someone who's a different age from you, or someone you've wanted to get to know but haven't had a chance to talk with much yet. Maybe you're aware of someone you haven't seen for a while because they need to be especially careful during the pandemic. Be bold and write to them to see if they would want to talk on the phone for a while, just for fun. Or maybe there's an older woman who you've really wanted to ask some questions of. Again, be bold and just give her a call and see if she has time to talk with you a few times during the next couple months. Or maybe you're in youth group or a young adult group member and realize that there's an acquaintance of yours that doesn't really prefer the regularly scheduled meetings our church has for their age group. Call them up, ask them to go on a walk with you, or even just start an email chat to get to know them. This could go a long way toward helping that person begin to feel a part of things. Be aware at any large group meetings you attend of opening up your conversational circles to allow others to join you and feel a part of our church relationships. In addition to reaching out, press into growing your relationship with the Lord. Take responsibility for increasing your knowledge of Him through reading, studying, meditating on, and memorizing His Word. Read good books that will help you apply God's Word. Pray. Pray more often than you have previously. Ask God to help you grow in knowing how to prefer and serve those in your home, your church, and your neighborhood. Ask the Spirit to empower you to share the gospel. Seek help and accountability to resist sin. Take your own spiritual growth seriously and take advantage of the means of grace God has provided you with to help you grow and mature. Here's a book recommendation for you. The book is Growing Together, and it just came out this summer. This is another book by Melissa Kruger, an author that I'm trying to introduce you to all throughout this year. This book starts out with a few chapters that biblically inspire us to make sure that we have older-younger mentoring type relationships as a regular part of our lives. After laying the groundwork there, the book moves on to 9 more chapters, each on a different discipline that the Bible indicates should be part of our lives as growing Christians. And at the end of those chapters, it provides you with questions that you could use to talk about the chapter's topic with another person or with a group. This book could be especially useful to you all this fall as you take responsibility for your own spiritual growth and for pursuing new and deeper relationships within our church. Please consider reading it and taking advantage of the way it makes it easy to consider biblical discipline topics and to talk through them with others. As previously mentioned, beginning in January, we will offer Bible studies again. This year, we will use Melissa Kruger's book, In All Things, to study the book of Philippians. As I've gone through this study recently, I've been amazed at how applicable this book is to the trials we are currently facing. The Christians that Paul is writing to in Philippi are a solid group of faithful saints. Paul's not addressing any glaring sins in their midst, but he is aware that they're surprised and disoriented by the fact that he's been put in prison and separated from them, and by the continued struggle they are having to live in a world that is antagonistic to the gospel and what it implies for our lives. They're being tempted to disunity, to anxiety, and to disgruntledness. So, Paul encourages them throughout the book in ways that we need to be encouraged currently. He exhorts them that to live as Christ and to die as gain, to in humility count others more significant than yourselves, to know that it is God who works in you for His good pleasure, to do all things without grumbling or disputing, to rejoice in the Lord, to look out for the dogs, to press on to make it your own, to forget what lies behind and straight forward to what lies ahead, that our citizenship is in heaven, to agree in the Lord, to rejoice always, to be anxious for nothing, to think on whatever is true, honorable, just, pure, and to be content in all circumstances. Sounds like just the sort of exhortation we need, doesn't it? I encourage you to participate in this study later this year, if at all possible. And I propose that we use Paul's prayer for the Philippians as our rallying cry for this year. He prays in Philippians 1:9 through 11, "And it is my prayer that your love may abound more and more, with knowledge and all discernment, so that you may approve what is excellent, and so be pure and blameless for the day of Christ, filled with the fruit of righteousness that comes through Jesus Christ, to the glory and praise of God." So abound in love, grow in knowledge and discernment, and in what is excellent, so that you will be pure and blameless and will bear fruit through Jesus Christ, to the glory and praise of God. Thanks for listening. The planning team is excited about what God's going to do in and through the women of our church this year.